Why do you do what you do? It's a way for you to make a difference. You want to design your offer so that it is more robust. You want to think about amplifying your expertise so that you can attract clients who will actually truly value what you do. Welcome and thanks for being here today. So there's a quote that I really like to lean on, and it's one that says, "You were born an original, don't die a copy." Love that quote. It reminds us that differentiation is really within us, and it's not something that we have to falsify or craft or create and try to be something that is disingenuous. So today I want to talk to you about differentiation from the perspective of design. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michèle Soregaroli. I am the founder and creator of the Business Differentiation Blueprint, and I've been specializing in differentiating those in professional services and helping them craft better offers for about 20 years. So I'm very excited to be here for today and thrilled that you're here to join me. So we're going to talk about design. When you're designing, what's happening in your differentiation, right? So first, you're going to take a look at the first step as you're considering what your offer looks like is you want to amplify your expertise. Amplify your expertise so that you can create more value. We're going to talk about that in a different video, but amplifying your expertise is key, and it's where the greatest source of value is for you. The second part of your offer is the design. Design, when you could design your offer in such a way in professional services so that you are absolutely guaranteed to create more value, not just add value, but create value, create real, new, tangible value for your clients. That's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. And then finally, in the third part of differentiation, we're talking about positioning. Everything I do is helping you and your peers, sometimes your competitors. I help position your offer and help you attract clients who are truly going to value it. So we got three parts to differentiation. I mean, there's a lot more others, but generally we're going to hover around amplify, design, and position. Today, let's talk about design. So what do I mean by design? There are four components that I think about when I'm thinking about helping you as a professional services advisor. Maybe you're in financial services, maybe you're in insurance, maybe you are running a firm that is in law, or maybe you're advising from a sales position like in commercial real estate or something like that. No matter what you're doing in professional services, though, regardless, you're going to have to think about the design of your offer. Now, let's assume that you've got your credibility. Let's assume that you have already amplified your expertise and that you already know how you create real and tangible value that's different from your competitors, right? Your peers. How do you design that in such a way that that offer is more robust? There's four components that I want you to think about. The first thing is your platform. Your platform is what I would call the place where you hold your flag in the sand. It's the thing that you stand on, either the philosophies or the beliefs or the fundamental principles, the guiding principles, the things that you believe and the things that you're committed to that hold you true to your value proposition, and also frame the value proposition. So that's your platform. Then the second part is what we call your purpose. And your purpose is where we start getting into things like the methodology that you use, or the checklist, or the process that you use to move through and create value, right? So it's more like the step-by-step checklist, if you will, or the arc of the experience that you're creating. But what is the process that you're looking at? Now, here's a tip for you. You likely already have one that you may or may not be aware of. So if you don't have an awareness around your process, the first thing you want to do is think about mapping it out. What are the different milestones and what are the different steps that you take in a client experience with you, in that client journey? Where do they get? How do they get from A, where they start, they've got a problem, they need your help, until the completion? And that could be a matter of few weeks, or it could be a matter of a few years, but you need to be aware of what that arc looks like so that you have that process very clear in your mind. The second thing is, once you've got that clear, name it. The reason you want to name your process is because it gives it more credibility. It actually sounds like it's something that you've given thought to, and that by giving it a name, you are helping people anchor in something that they can remember and that's something that stands out. If you have a process without a name, it's much harder for them to connect with that and to hold it. So that's the second part of the design of your value proposition and your differentiation strategy process. Then we get into the third part. Third part is where I like to talk about your personality. Your personality is the energy or the essence or the vitality, the momentum, your style, the way that you bring a human dimension or a human element into your value proposition. So rather than go through a series of steps, Yes, you're going to do that in your process, but that series of steps is going to be experienced in a certain way. And some people might be more analytical and more rational and more structured in their design, in their personality, if you will. Others might be a little bit more free form or free flowing. Others might be a little bit more creative. Others might be a little more spontaneous. They might be more big picture. They might be more conceptual and less detail oriented. The thing you want to think about in your personality is bringing that forward in your value proposition so that people can experience it as if it were a human experience as they're moving through your process and experiencing your platform. So those are the first three. Just to remind you, we've got your platform to start with, then we go into your process, which really gets into the methodology and the steps. And then thirdly, we look at your personality. We want to round that out with number 4, the 4 P's, I like to say. The fourth P in the design of your value proposition is what I like to call purpose. Now, we've talked about purpose in previous videos before, so if you haven't checked on that, I'm going to invite you to go back. And there's lots of work on purpose out there in the market. But the thing I want you to be thinking about is the purpose here for the purposes of your value proposition are the why. Why do you do what you do? Now, why is that important? If you have a purpose statement, why you do what you do, and if you can bring that to market and tell people about that confidently, if you have a backstory that informs the way you bring value to the market, your methodology, your approach, your platform, your personality, if you have a why, now you're talking about bigger picture, you're talking about impact, and you're really referencing the meaning to you and why it's important. So the purpose, what that does is it gives your offer more substance and it makes it real. It's no longer just a way for you to make money. It's a way for you to make a difference. And you have a reason for wanting to make that difference. And what that does is it builds greater opportunity for you to create human engagement and connection with your clients. And it also gives more trust in why you do what you do, because you have an emotional connection with the difference that you want to make or the outcome you want to make. So for now, I want to leave you with the 4 Ps. Remember, the first thing you want to do when you're thinking about your value proposition and when you're thinking about the differentiation strategy you're designing, you want to think about amplifying your expertise so that you can create more value. Secondly, you want to design your offer so that it is more robust and it has more substance and more perspective around it, which we just talked about. Your 4 Ps are in the design: platform, process, personality, purpose. Those are the 4 components of your value proposition. And then the third component that you want to be thinking about is the positioning around that so that you can attract clients who will actually truly value what you do. So for now, I'm going to leave you with that. I encourage you to consider looking at some other videos. We've got a lot of work on this YouTube channel. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to invite you to join us on the journey. We're going to be following up with many more videos. I'm very excited to share this with you. Thanks for being here today. And if you enjoyed this video, please share it with others. Thanks for being on my journey with me. Thanks for being a participant, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.